Love it. Love it. Amazing stuff. I love what you've done. I love kind of anything to do with personalization. I feel, especially personalization at scale, feels like something that is really important, especially in the age of agentic buying. We're now getting into a scenario where it's going to become harder and harder to personalize the shopping experience. And as a result, because it's now an agent doing the shopping on behalf of the consumer, we're not there yet, but as MCP becomes standardized across the stack, and as agentic level buying, or at least agentic level shopping, starts to become much more of the norm over the next, say, 5 years, now all of a sudden, a Nosto, for example, doesn't help me much in a scenario where okay, maybe I'm personalizing the information I give back to an agent, but it's not giving a physical human being the warm and fuzzies, right? Whereas obviously this, when a person has still got to be there to receive the parcel. And so it feels like this is maybe one of the last stands, so to speak, of personalization across the customer journey that, is not going to go away anytime soon. And so we're not going to have an agentic recipient of our goods. We're going to actually be receiving our goods. So it feels like this is a unique play, even in an agentic world, right?
Yeah, I think personalization was the buzzword probably before agentic AI. And we're trying to operate ultimately in both of those landscapes. Personalization to start, but we're in a really good market timing in terms of the saturation of digital channels, as well as ultimately fighting for the primary inbox. When we're actually looking at a moment where an actual customer they're thinking about the brand, they're hearing the doorbell ring and they're thinking, oh, that's my order that I placed the other day. They're excited. They're opening their product. They're seeing the personalized insert as the first touch point. And ultimately, we think that's going to be the most impactful touch point for a customer to engage with a brand, as well as the products that they've purchased. But then as a future vision, I think agentic and one-to-one personalization is going to be happening for every software tool out there. And I love the vision of a one-to-one printed insert for each customer, where we're looking at the data and aggregating the data that a brand has on all of their customers. And then we're just creating dynamic recommendations for each customer in real time. So I think ultimately that's the vision of any sort of personalization software. We're delivering it a really cool touch point, which isn't going to get saturated or minimized in the way you're describing, I guess, at least until robotics meets the software equivalents.